Greetings and hello to you all. You're probably wondering why I'm looking at a couch. It's a format that I'm testing out, so to speak. You see, I got a proper tripod now, which means I could put a tripod on the floor and I could do this hands-free, so to speak, or I won't be on some awkward angle or something. Also, I figured if this kind of gimmick would work for a British idiot in an ill-fitting suit, it should work for the rest of us, right? Right? Totally original idea. But I got something that the other bloke does not have. A totally disinterested pup who's looking at something on the floor. She's looking at nothing, I promise. Anyways, who cares about her? So I got a new tripod. For whatever reason. Seemed like a good idea at the time. It was fairly cheap, so I figured, why not? I figured, well, let's make some use of it. Let's do a pickups video. For the past couple of weeks there. So we'll call this the February pickups or something. I don't know, maybe not. Anyways, let's start off with a couple of vaguely interesting pickups. Got Venture for the ColecoVision. Venture. It's a venture without the ad. Oh, seemed like a good idea at the time. Here's the other fairly interesting pickup. Venture for the Atari Video Computer System and Sears Video Arcade. What's so interesting about this? It's more of a beige cartridge than a white, but beige cartridges sound like crap. It's a white cartridge, and let's just leave it at that. Also on the back here, bonus cartridge included with Gemini purchase, non-refundable. Gemini is probably referring to Coleco's own Atari VCS knockoff, the one that isn't wood grain, I believe. I don't know, I've never seen one of those. Anyways, the funny bit is I actually bought both of these at the same time, and I had to clarify to the vendor that these two games, despite sharing the same name and the same title art, were for different formats. And he got it, I guess. I assume he did. I don't know. Anyways, we're going to put that aside. Anyways, a couple of NES game purchases here. First off, we got Yoshi's Cookie, which is a puzzle game of sorts featuring Yoshi and cookies. I don't know, seemed like a good idea at the time. And the other NES purchase is a game I've been looking for quite some time. Batman Return of the Joker. And that, I guess that finishes off the Batman trilogy of NES games. I already had Batman the video game, and I think last month I got Batman Returns. I think it was last month. I could be wrong. But yeah, now I came across this. Fairly cheap too, about 20-30 bucks, more or less. Expecting a little more, because this one, I haven't seen a lot of these copies. I've been looking for this for quite a while, and kind of happy to have it in my collection there. Great game though, hard as nails though, but very fun. And even the dog's impressed, because I just woke her up, and she was vaguely intrigued by that Batman game. No, but that's actually a pretty good game for the most part. Remember playing that, renting it quite a few times as a kid, and playing it on an actual cartridge rather than an emulator is a great. Just glad to have it on a cartridge and be able to play it and stuff. And yeah, anyways, moving right along, the sole Game Boy purchase, we have Spider-Man 3. Invasion of the Spider Slayers. I will tell you this much. I should not have to worry about the fact that this is published by LGN, maker of toys. I should be more concerned with the fact that this game, and I did do some semblance of research, this game was developed by a company called Bits. And Bits was the same company, this is the same company that developed Spider-Man Return of the Sinister Six for the NES. And I've already made my thoughts known on that particular game. No need to repeat them here. But anyways, next up for the Sega Genesis we have Star Trek Deep Space Nine Crossroads of Time. It's the Star Trek side-scroller. I have this for the Super Nintendo. I'm curious to see how the Genesis version plays out. Now here are a couple of rather interesting, to me more than anybody else, couple of Master System purchases here, and probably the big advantage of doing it in this format rather than the usual format. We got Teddy Boy, the Sega card for the Master System. And for those of you who have never seen a Sega card, it's basically a card. I'm going to open them. You know, like so. It comes in these little cards that you slip into the card reader of the Sega Master System, and you play video games. You know, so you have this card format. You got Teddy Boy for the Master System in a Sega card format. Put that in there like so, or try to at least. And the other game, also for the Master System and also a Sega card, My Hero. That's fantastic Master System art at its finest, and it's already a that's the card right there. Basically just slipping into the card reader. Of course, if you have a Master System Mark II, it doesn't have a card reader, so you're pretty much fucked. But if you do, but it plays on the original Master System, and I think the power base converter for the Genesis also has a card reader. Not too sure about that because I've never seen a power base converter. Anyways, moving on to PlayStation, we have Spawn the Eternal. Never actually played this one before up until now, so I was kind of curious, and it was fairly cheap, so I was kind of curious to see how this plays. Probably have to sit down and actually play the damn thing, but anyways, tilt this down a bit. Alright, next up we have a Tobal #1, which includes the Final Fantasy VII Sampler CD, which is probably the only reason why anybody bought this thing, although I'm sure it did well enough that it merited a proper sequel. Now the interesting thing about this version of Tobal #1 is that, contrary to popular belief, it does not include said Final Fantasy VII Sampler CD. Which, in all honesty, I would have been surprised if it still had the Sampler CD, because I'm pretty sure someone would have bought this, sold the game, and kept the sampler for themselves until the actual game came out or something. I don't know. Funny thing about this one, doesn't have has Tobal #1, doesn't have the sampler disc. Instead, I got something a little better than that as a bit of a bonus. No title on here, but apparently, according to the small text, it's Twisted Metal, presumably the first one. So yeah, 2 games for the price of 1. Better than a fucking Final Fantasy VII sampler, in all honesty. Anyways, got Star Wars Dark Forces, which I actually also have on the for MS-DOS PC CD-ROM. You got Panzer's Dragoon 2 Zwei for the or is it Panzer Dragoon Zwei 2 for the Sega Saturn? Apparently it's supposed to be good, so I don't know. Anyways, finally we have for the PlayStation 2 Neo Contra with artwork by Rob Liefeld. Supposedly. The ultimate run and gun shooter. Well, it has to be better than the other one, doesn't it? So yeah, those are the pickups for the past 2 or 3 weeks, more or less. So yeah, very vaguely interesting setup, both in terms of the pickups and also in terms of the format. I might do more pickup videos. I might do more in this format instead of the doing it over a table. Maybe even do the other show-off things and that kind of stuff. So yeah, those are the pickups for the past couple of weeks. Thanks for watching. Till next time, take care. Good night. I'm going to put the dog to sleep because it is getting late, and well, tomorrow, although my tomorrow is your today or your yesterday, depending on when this was. Anyways, getting too deep into this. Anyways, later.